Alright everybody, welcome aboard. We're going to be doing a shakedown flight here with the new Zibo 3.29 Charlie version. So this is the latest version, at least as of the other day, and they seem to have worked out a lot of the bugs and kinks, and I've worked out some bugs and kinks I had with it. I had to delete my preferences and get stuff reset in X-Plane itself. But frame rates are looking good now. The plane is looking good. I did one test flight on it, and I thought I'd do the first sort of inaugural actual flight. And you can see we've got our Southwest livery here. This is Shamu livery. We're sitting at we're sitting at some ramp in Phoenix, Arizona. We're going to do our standard flight here, Phoenix to San Diego. So let's go ahead and jump in the plane. Come over here, and all right. So we're cold and dark. Let's go ahead and get everything started up. Let's see. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start loading and cleaning. So let's get that going. You can hear all the different audio bird stuff going on, F-Mod sounds and everything that are incorporated into the airplane. So let's get powered up over here. We'll turn our battery on. Standby power is already on. I always put emergency exit lights on to start out, and we'll come over here and go to ground power. Start getting everything set up. Turn our panel lights on. There's a little bit of weather in San Diego. We had a little bit of a marine layer, which is a low stratus deck out over right along the coastline, so it might be a little bit of an interesting arrival into San Diego. Get all our lights turned up here while they're vacuuming out the plane and getting it ready. Alrighty, let's see. Put our yoke back on. We will put our beacon on right there. I have a key for that. Alright, let's get our IRSs aligned here. Put left and right to nav. And we can come down here and start putting in our route here. Clear out all the messages, jump into the FMC, and we'll get our position here. Go to the next page, grab the GPS, either one. Go back, drop it in there, and then we're going to go to route. So we're at KPHX. Drop that in there. We're going to be going to KSAN, Diego. Go to our performance here. I'm just going to take the default. Let's look at our fuel. Yep, plenty of fuel. Reserves are going to be about, let me think about this, 16. I'm going to put 16. Should have about 16 reserve. Cost index, I'm just going to put 1, 2, 3. Altitude, we're going to go up to 30,000 feet. It's a short flight. Now cruise winds, I'm just going to guess those. I'm going to guess those. I know you got to put in the winds and everything. Well, at least you got to put in the temperature to get the VNAV working. But I'm gonna try to put everything in here. Let's see. You know, I'm just gonna put whatever for cruise winds. Let's just do 250/10. That's kind of what I had yesterday. Temp deviation, I'm gonna put 0. All right, and that figures everything else out. Good. We're gonna execute that. Then we come over to our limits. I'll click on that. We won't derate or anything. We'll go over to our takeoff. We're going to have 5 flaps. We'll set our CG. Trim tab set for about 4.7. We'll acknowledge our speeds here, 139. Take note of that. We'll come up here and we'll set that. There we go, 139. Alright, let's go ahead and get our departures and arrivals. Now, I'm going to guess the runways here. I didn't get the ATIS yet, but we're going to take off 25 left anyway. Actually, you know what? Yeah, let's take off 25 right. 25 right. And what do we get for departures? Judith 4. Mohawk transition. We might get rid of that afterwards. Come back up here. Let's go for an arrival. We're going to do the RNAV to 27. Barrett 5 with an Imperial transition. Not sure if we're going to do Lindy. I don't think we need that, but we'll take that. Okay, so we're going to activate that, execute it, since we're the only ones in the cockpit. Excuse me, let's take a look at this. So I'm going to zoom out a little bit here so we can see the map. We'll go to plan view, 10, and that looks good. Alright, so here's our departure. We're at the airport. We'll step through each leg there. So we're going to take off heading west, head for Davies, Davies, Vans, Clubs, Gila Bend, Judith, Mohawk, and then we got our disconnect continuity. We're going to go right to Imperial, so we'll put that in there and execute that. Alright, so from Mohawk, right to over to Imperial, Kumba, Pillow, Barrett, over to, I don't even know how to say that, Ifeach, Vida, Oki, Sage on Rebo, and to the runway. Perfect. Then we got our missed approach hold. Alright, that looks awesome. That looks perfect. So, back to page 1. We'll go over to map. And let's set up the panel right here just to start out with. So we're going to be going up to 30,000. No ATC today. No delays, none of that stuff. We're just going to be going right up to our cruise altitude. Heading we can leave alone. I'm going to put 25, I believe, on the bank, max bank. And actually, let's see that. Is that 25? 10, 20, 30. So yeah, 25. And let's see, course heading, we can find, well, we're going to put our course heading for our final approach course, which is on final to San Diego, we're going to be to 275. So let me crank that down. A bit too far. 275. We'll do the same over on the other side here. Other way. There we go. 275. Alright, now the only thing I want to show you here, I'm going to bring this up. Let me go ahead and share my other screen here. There we go. Alright, so we'll grab our actual real-world altimeter here. Why not? It's usually the same. 2985 it looks like. And winds 290 at 8 or something like that. It's hard for me to see because it's small on the screen. So yeah, so our departure is looking good towards the west. Winds are out of the west right there. And let's get the altimeter again. What was it? 2985. Let's set that really quick. Get the map off of there. Go 2985. Come over here. And set the same here. Let me get that out of the way. There we go. 2985. Alright, and we'll adjust. Yeah, well, we'll leave it as is. Usually, real world and within the sim, it's at least pretty close, so I won't bother adjusting that. Alright, so let me show you this again. Our route of flight here is pretty straightforward. You know, we're gonna depart Phoenix, come back down over here to Gila Bend, and then basically follow the U.S.-Mexico border right over to Imperial. We catch our Barrett 5 over here and then turn inbound into San Diego. Now here's what I wanted to show you though. You can see current conditions at San Diego. Winds 200 at 10, 9 miles, scattered at 600, overcast at 800. So this Got the marine layer in here. Here's Miramar, which is Marine Corps Air Station Miramar now. They're also showing red there, broken at 800. That's the ceiling. So if that maintains for the rest of the flight, should be a nice approach at least into San Diego. All right, so we are done vacuuming. Let's go ahead and stop that. Let's go ahead and we'll start our flight leg, which means we're going to start hearing passengers loading and all that good stuff. Okay, and we're going to get our APU fired up. So we're going to turn on a fuel pump, and I got a key for this. We'll get our APU started up. While we're talking altitude, let's go ahead and we'll just set that right here. For cabin pressurization, we're going up to 30,000. There we go. 50 for arrival. Alright, let's wait for the APU to get fired up completely. We'll wait for that to be available. So we should, the light went off here, and yeah, we should get this light over here. There we go. The APU power is available.
Flight attendants, please prepare your doors for departure and cross-check.
Let's listen to the cabin crew there. All right, let's go over to APU power. And at this time, we'll put on our nav lights. Alright, and we'll kind of come down this way, get everything set up, get ready for engine start and pushback. So yaw dampener on. We'll turn all our fuel pumps on. I'm going to leave this as is, standby power. Sometimes you put it to like APU or Gen 1, but I've seen Real World Pilot saying that he just leaves it on standby power, so I don't know. I don't know if that's right or wrong or whatever. We'll leave it right there. I haven't had any problems doing that in the sim. Okay, so APU power, we are on that. Or sorry, yeah, we're on APU power. We got our lights up. Let's turn our seatbelt signs on. Where are they? They're down here. All right. We'll come over here. We'll put our window heat on. We'll leave our Pitot Heat off for right now. We'll turn on our electrical hydraulics. Alright, we'll put our trim air on, APU bleed off, or sorry, on, and our packs on, so you'll hear some air starting up for the passengers. Okay, we already set our altitude here. It's on auto. We got arrival. We're ready to push back. So let's see what we got for announcements here in this new system. PA welcome speech. Let's hear what that is. I don't even know what it is. I'm not sure what he says, but we'll click on it and then go sit in the back and listen to the captain.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the flight deck, welcome aboard our flight today. We're wrapping up the final paperwork here to get you on your way momentarily. I want to thank you so much for your company and business. We invite you to sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. Again, welcome aboard.
Cool, except I think he was talking over the flight attendant there also. Alright, let's set up our pushback here. You know, before I do that, let's jump out of the plane. I don't even know what terminal I'm at here. So we said we were going to take off 25 right, I believe. Yep, okay, so that's over here. So we got to push back that way. Alright, that gives me a good idea of which way I'm supposed to push back, which is kind of right there.
Ground to cockpit, plan acknowledged. Call me through the menu when you are ready.
Alright, perfect. And I'm ready. I'm going to hit my key to let them know I'm ready to push back.
Ground to cockpit, tow is driving up.
Alright, and at this time I'm just going to verify all our stuff is working here. We're going to turn on our flight director on the left, on the right, our auto throttle arm, and we're going to hit VNAV and LNAV and make sure both of those illuminate. So if we screwed something up in here with like our temperature and stuff like that in our performance settings, you would not be able to turn on your VNAV. So that's a good sign. Just saw our tug pulling up. Let's see if we can see him. Yep, there he is. We're gonna.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect.
Alright, we'll do that. And that is our gate pulling away right there. And he'll start connecting us up. Go outside to make sure he's connecting us up, because sometimes that works a little hokey on the way I set up brakes. Yep, you can see he's attaching up to the gear here. He's going to lift us up and start pushing us back. Alright, so next announcement is going to be a level off.
Tow connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
I hit my parking brake key. Off, I think. Let's see. Let me hit it again. There we go. Yeah, see.
Starting pushback,
yeah,
and you may start engines.
My parking brake key, sometimes it kind of half pulls it up, leaves it on. I don't know. Alright, so we're pushing back. Let's go ahead and get ready for engine start here. So we're going to do packs right and left off, and throw number 2 over to ground. We're going to wait for our N2 here to spool up to about 20 plus. And then we'll introduce fuel. That's right here. I have a key that actually brings these up, so I don't have to grab them with my mouse. So there we go. Fuel's introduced there. Let's take a look out the window. See it firing up. Take a swig of water here. Let's take a look at the tower view. Is there a tower view here? There we go. Apparently we're at the, I don't know, the United ramp terminal. Alright, let's get back in here. Looks like we got a good start on engine 1. Let's go ahead, or sorry, engine 2. Let's go get engine 1 started up. And again, I have a key for the fuel, so I won't have to look down there. Alright, there's 18, 19, 20-ish. Alright, introduce fuel. We'll get started up on there. Alright, let's get our view set up here. So we're going to turn on airports and go to
Operation complete. Go ahead and set the parking brake.
Right, now we set our parking brake.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
Alright, looks like we got a good start on both of the engines, so now let's go ahead and turn our APU bleed off, and we put our packs back on. We'll let him disconnect. And we'll go over to engine power. And that looks good. And we will turn off our APU, which I got a key that does that too. makes it for a little bit better. And we'll do a final scan up here, like make sure everything is good. So yaw dampener's on.
Tow is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal on the left. We'll see you next time and have fun up there.
Yeah, we're gonna have fun. Okay, so fuel is on. Come back down here, scan this. I mean, I guess I can put this on Gen 1 now that we're on engine power. Okay, so cabin utilities are on. Power's all set. We're on the engine power. We come over here, equipment is at normal, seatbelts, smoking signs on, chimes only. Now they don't even call it smoking, it's just the chime. Alright, and we'll wait on our Pitot Heat until we get our pre-flight done. Airs are all set, trim airs on, packs, all this looks good. Alright, final check's good, we're ready to taxi. Let's go ahead and clear that out, and it's got something. It's cautioning us on something. I'm not. Oh, probably it's the Pitot Heat. Okay, so we're gonna taxi. Let's jump out of the airplane really quick. You can see we're gonna taxi over right there and head down that way. All right, so parking brake off. Give it some power. Alright, we'll go to 5 flaps here. Follow the taxi line here. Kind of. Goodbye to Phoenix. Actually, I think the Phoenix southwest ramp is over here on this end. All right, let's just double check our lights while we got our nav on and our beacon on. And now with that we're moving, we'll go ahead and put our Pitot Heat on. Actually, it's a good thing. A good reminder here. I'm going to put my water reflection rendering on. All right, there we go. Pitot Heat on. Let's make sure we're still on the taxiway. All right, and there's our light is now off. Alright, and then one other thing we're going to do here, because we're going to go for immediate departure, we're just going to turn our transponder on now. And we will hit our terrain radar. And let that get warmed up. And we'll put our auto braking to RTO, that's a rejected takeoff. So it's kind of maximum braking, I think. Yeah, here's the southwest ramp right here, or gate ramp, gates. We'll pop out and take a quick view, make sure I'm going all the way to the end. Okay. All right, so at this time, I'm going to go ahead and hit my wing lights. That'll give us that announcement.
Okay, the cabin is secured. Have a good flight.
Alright, we'll put our strobes on. Stay on the taxiway. load up a little bit here, and we are cleared for an immediate departure. Alright, so strobes are on.
Approaching 2-5 right.
And landing lights on now. And our transponders on. Flaps are set. Auto braking set.
On
We're
runway
cleared for takeoff.
2-5 right.
We'll get lined up. Bring up the power to about 40. Let it stabilize. And we've got our toga key here. That's takeoff go around. Alright, we'll hit that. Off we go.
knots.
Check.
V1
Rotating.
Positive rate.
Gear up. Back in the airplane here. Alright. Got nosed up a little high there during the flyby. And we'll go flaps up 1. We're at 1,000. We're going to hit our autopilot button. It'll bring us around to our heading here. Alright, flaps all the way up. Get cleaned up here. You can see downtown Phoenix there. It's a little loud there, but I want to do this video with all these sounds going, you know. So maybe I'll crank it down a little bit if it gets a little bit too loud here, but I think it's manageable here, and you can hear me. Alright, so let's take a look at our route here. We should be making a turn coming up here shortly. There's our terrain radar right there, updating. That's this ridge line right over there that we see, right there. Target airspeed here at 250. So let's go gear handle to off, auto braking to off, and I believe we can turn that center display off now. Go ahead and retract our retractable landing lights. And wing lights can go off now. Verify our pressurization here is working. Looks like it is. Some cirrus and haze here in the Phoenix Valley. 10,000 feet, so I'm going to go landing lights all off. There we go. And one thing I forgot to do is always put these on continuous. They're supposed to be there for our climb out. At least that's my understanding. Alright, take a look again here, make sure nothing looks amiss. Everything looks good. Let's watch this go through the clouds here while I grab my phone. So far, so good. Coming up to Gila Bend here. Let's zoom out a little bit. Saratoga climb has just passed it. We're at 20,000, heading for 30. Everything else looks good. Let's take a check of our time here. So just about 17 Zulu. Good progress here into San Diego at 17:39. So right about another 40 minutes or so, we will be on the ground. Just checking the current weather in San Diego. They're starting to break up a little bit. That layer is now view at 800, scattered at 1,000. So see if that updates in the sim. I'm gonna fix my view here a little bit, adjust it up so I don't get the little rim of the window here. So that is ATIS for San Diego. We'll make that active right now. So we'll pick that up as we're coming into San Diego. And then 118.3 is the tower over at Lindbergh. And then we do have set 117.8. That is Mission Bay VOR in San Diego. Here's our turn over Gila Bend. Let's go outside and take a look at that. Right underneath us, I think. I'm going to actually jump out of the area, fly off into the distance. I'm going to see Gila Bend. There is Gila Bend. Hold on. So if you're ever driving from San Diego to Phoenix, you get off the 8 here, come across this little highway. That's the 8 freeway, all the way from San Diego, heads to Tucson. But you get off over here, and then you head up over to the 15, and you go through Gila Bend. And so you're driving through the desert, going 80 plus miles an hour, you know? And then you get off right here, right? You get off someplace over here, and you get on this little tiny road right through town, okay? And the speed limit, I don't know what it is now, but it's low. It's like 35, 40 or something. And the cops sit someplace right here and just nab people because they're used to going 85 and now they got to slow down to like 45 or something. So be warned. So another couple thousand feet will be at our top of climb. We'll do our top of climb announcement here, our level off speech. And then we'll put some music on, and I'll adjust the volumes, and we'll take a look at the nice ortho I have for you to look at all the way to San Diego here. Look at that, that was a good shot at the moon right there. Wow, was I just talking with my stupid thing off? Yeah, I had my mic off. Sorry about that. So I was just saying that we're gonna level off at 30,000. We'll do the announcement over here. Level off. We'll see what that sounds like, and then I'll put on some music, and we'll take a look at the nice ortho that I've got all throughout the entire route here. And I'm looking at that nice moon right there. X-Plane 11 moon. Alright, so there is our level off. Let's go ahead and hear the level off speech. So I'm going to click that, and then we'll go in the back cabin and listen what it's all about.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again from the flight deck, we've leveled off now at our cruising altitude. We're going to go ahead and turn off the fasten seatbelt sign. I'd like to kindly ask if you are staying in your seats to keep those seatbelts comfortably fastened for your safety. Onboard computer showing an on-time arrival, no ATC delays either. We're going to stay quiet up here, have you enjoy the flight and the service. Once again, welcome aboard.
Alright, very cool. I'll turn off the seatbelts. There we go. See if there's any announcements for that. Pick up there. Into the cockpit. Alright, so next one is descent, and that one's actually like, I think 15 minutes out. He says something about 15 minutes out, if I recall that. Alright, so we are at our level off here. Let's do our flight level check. We're going to go to auto on our engines, and we're going to turn our strobes off, just nav lights, and that's about it. Take a look at our target speed. Yep, that looks right. We'll zoom out a little bit here. Get a little bit more stuff to look at here. Alright, so let me hit some tunes and adjust the volumes here a minute. Let me show you a couple of views.
Unable to find view ID 13.
We've got sort of the flight attendant coming through the door view here. Cockpit looks nice, except we've got invisible flight crew. Alright, let's see. Let's take a look out the side, see which side we want to look at. Look out towards Mexico, look out over Arizona, back that way. That's pretty nice, I like that one. Actually, that's got more mountainy stuff. What do we got coming up ahead of us? Looks like more mountains on the left-hand side. So I'm gonna leave you with this view right here while I take a quick break, and I will be right back. Alright guys, I'm back in the cockpit. Let me turn his tunes down just a little bit. So we got a nice view here. That's actually, it's at the Sea of Baja, what the hell is it called? Gulf of, that is the Gulf of California. We're seeing right there. Actually, yeah, it's kind of the tail end of it here. There's a. Here, I'll bring it up on the. I'll bring it up on the map here, and we can take a look. All right, there we go. So here's Yuma, right here. This is the U.S.-Mexican border. All right, let me zoom out a little bit. And there's San Diego. We're basically going to be flying right through here, and looks like we're just coming up to at Yuma. That is right here. There's Yuma, and that's what we're looking at right over here, right there. So what we're seeing back behind it, at least just below the clouds right over there, is the Gulf of California. I wonder if this little lagoon, yeah, it says something here, Lagoon Salanda or something. Let's take a little look here at Yuma. And if you haven't watched any of my other videos, I am a real-world private pilot. I haven't flown in a long time, but I did learn to fly in San Diego. And so I flew all around the Southwest. One of the flights that I did that was kind of memorable, I came out and I actually, let me see, I took out from San Diego, from Gillespie Field, went up to 29 Palms, over to Blythe, and then down the Colorado River here to Yuma, landed over here, stopped at the FBO, and then when I was taking off, there was actually like a DC-10 taking off ahead of me, and I waited quite a bit. I waited like probably 10 minutes after he took off, and I still ended up hitting his sort of wake turbulence, bounced me around real good taking off and heading out back towards San Diego. So that was kind of fun. All right, let's pop in the cockpit here. Let's see how we're doing. We got our top of descent is already coming up because we got Imperial in front of us. Looks like we got some clouds. Let's zoom in here a little bit. So what do we got here? It's about 20-30 miles to top of descent. Let's start taking a look at our descent here. See where we're going to be going to. Now we're not using HEC and all that, so we're cleared all the way down, or you know, the FMC and autopilot will hold all of our designated altitudes here at fixes, right? But we're going to actually be cleared all the way down to 2,000 feet at Rebo. So we can actually get our altitude set at this time. We'll go to 2,000 feet. There, 2,000, perfect. Let's take a look out forward here. Now there's the Salton Sea. Again, this is Mexico, and we're in, there you can almost see the line right here. That's the border. So Mexico off over here. El Centro, California right over here. Got Palm Springs and Coachella Valley on the north side of the Salton Sea here. And let's see what we see out here. Unfortunately, these clouds are right in the way here. But these sand dunes here that run all the way down here, you can see our clouds there. A little bit of movie trivia, since this is California. This is the filming location for one of the Star Wars movies. Return of the Jedi was filmed down here in the sand dunes. This was Tatooine. This is where Jabba the Hutt's sail barge took Luke and Leia and everybody out and was going to try to toss them into the Sarlacc pit. And then you see those images of the sail barge, Jabba the Hutt's sail barge, blowing up, where they actually built that down here on these dunes. And you know, not to scale, I guess, but it was pretty big, and blew it up. turn here. There's some turbulence. And I'll babble on a little bit more about my flying experience. This airport right here, which looks better than it actually is, it's an abandoned World War II airfield used for training. It's called Holtzville. And like I said, it's been closed for a long time. When I was flying out here one time, I ended up having some engine trouble and made a precautionary landing over here. I was flying actually from Yuma to San Diego, and ended up losing about half my engine power, and just landed over here just as a precaution. Well, I ended up landing on this runway right here because this airport, the locals here, they use it as a racetrack. So they've got a racetrack set up in here, and there's potholes and weeds and everything else growing all through the cracks of the runway here. And I ended up touching down, cutting down some weeds with the prop, taxied over here to the ramp, parked right there, and there was a little trailer park, or a little like a trailer type thing in here, and the sort of the airfield manager or whatever, he lived there, you know, with his daughter. And it turns out they kind of managed the racetrack here for it or something like that. Ended up sitting there until a mechanic from San Diego flew out in another airplane for me to fly back home. And when I came in to park right over here, there was another, I think it was like a Piper Arrow, was sitting on the ramp. The front gear was collapsed, and the prop was all bent up. It turns out that like a week beforehand, that Arrow had the same sort of problem, or had some issue, came in here and landed, and it was not as lucky as I was, and actually hit one of the potholes and collapsed the gear. So they towed the plane over here and parked it. A little flying trivia there. Flying hangar talk, I guess. We're coming up to El Centro here, just under the engine nacelle there. There's here's El Centro. That's the actual airport. At the time, one of the flight instructors at my club I was flying out of said, "Why don't you just fly over here?" Because this is an actual airport that's open. And I was like, well, I was in a Cessna 152, and I had a perfectly good pothole-ridden runway in front of me. So I wasn't about to try to get it all the way over here. Right over here, though, is Naval Air Station, El Centro. This used to be the winter home of the Blue Angels. I'm not sure if it still is, or if they go to Pensacola now or something like that. Alright, it looks like we've started our descent. Yes, we have. Turn the sound up just a little bit here. Let's take a look at our arrival time again. Here, look at progress. We got 1739. About 20 minutes, roughly 20-25 minutes, we'll be on the ground in San Diego. Making a little bit of a turn here. There's NAS El Centro. Got a better view of it there. So let's check our descent checklist here. So we need our strobes on. Let's go ahead and put that on. We'll go engines to continuous again. And we'll check our altimeter setting, which says we don't have it. I'm just going to look at my map on the other screen here. We'll get our altimeter setting. Let's see. El Centro says 29er76, pretty low there, but we're gonna set. Let's take a look at Lindbergh is saying 2984. So I'm just gonna put in 2984 real world here. Crank that up 2984. Won't set it yet until we actually get a little bit closer or get below 18,000. 2984. There we go. Get ready for that. You can see San Diego up in the distance ahead of us. Kind of hazy. I see a little water there. There's the Pacific Ocean already coming into view. So I'm going to give you the current weather here. I'll bring that up on our chart. And here in San Diego, move that over a little bit so you can see it. So the top line there, if you don't know how to read weather VTAR observations, that's what they're called. So it's KSAN, 07 is the date, 1651 I think is the time it was taken. Can't quite see. It's very small on my screen, so if I make a mistake, excuse me there, but it looks like winds are out of the south, 180 to 810 miles visibility, few clouds at 800, scattered at 1000, temperature 24, dew point 20, altimeter 2984. Your remarks is AO2, that's just this automated observation. You've got sea level pressure and some other additive data there we don't need to really worry about. That's what we got right now, but you can see these actually are no longer, it looks like they're breaking up here, but we'll see what it looks like on the actual sim. Sometimes it's a little lags behind, so maybe we will still have an interesting approach. Alright, so we're below 18,000.
Altimeter setting.
Yep, I know, we're setting it. And hit our altimeter here. View as we come out of the desert here. We'll pick up the 8 freeway here in a few minutes. I already see it right over there. It winds through here someplace. Let's see if we can see it out this way. Might be right over it. Or there it is. Is that it? Yeah. I think that's kind of splits off here. Yes, that is the 8. So it comes around and kind of weaves its way through there. Comes back down this way and heads for Tucson. Always love flying in the Southwest. So many different sort of things to look at scenery-wise. You got the desert, the mountains, the oceans. You can see we're kind of coming out of the desert here, heading into the mountains east of San Diego. Get rid of another phone call.
San Diego INTL information MiG. 1600 Zulu weather. Wind 160 at 11, visibility 6. Sky conditions 1100 overcast, temperature 23, dew point 19. Altimeter 2984. Arriving runway 09, departing runway 09. Advise on initial contact you have MiG.
Alright, so we got the Aedis there. They're saying they're arriving 09, but they never really arrive at 09, very rarely. It might be today, I don't know, but we're going to come in on 27, and at least for the altimeter it looks good, and it looks like it's still got that overcast layer at 1,100, so that'll be fun to fly through, at least in the sim here. Coming up to 11,000 feet as we descend down. Might have a drag required message. Nope, not yet. I won't use the spoilers. We'll just inch down towards 240 here. You can see that marine layer down below here. And we'll do the descent here probably right before we get to this intersection, whatever that one is, final turn there, to final, because it's about 15 minutes, or maybe just halfway between it, just after Barrett. It's I know that he says something about, you know, we're have you on the ground in about 15 minutes, so we'll try to kind of time that perfectly. Since we are in the mountains here, let's go ahead and hit our terrain radar. We should be picking up our Mission Bay VOR. There it is right there. That's just north of the San Diego Lindbergh Airport. Kind of gives us a good idea of pretty much how far out we are from the airport, around 40 miles or so. Alright, and as we're descending down here, I'm going to take one more really quick break. I'll be right back as we head for Barrett here. Alright, drinking a lot of water there. I had to make a little pit stop there. So, coming up to Barrett here, looks like. So what we do is we're actually going to pop out here. We make our turn at Barrett. We come around this peak right here, I forgot what it's called, and kind of go right between here and turn final into San Diego, which is someplace right about there. It's a little funky right there. Clouds kind of appearing in the weird line. Let's take a look out here, see if we see that again as we turn at Barrett. Yeah, there it is. A little anomaly there with the clouds. A little bit. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and kill the music for the approach and then turn the sound up so you can hear all the good engine sounds and everything. Get ready on our announcement here. Get a little bit farther. Like I said, we kind of fly right around this hill here. The Ortho 4XB is looking good as always here in San Diego. Alright, so we are doing the RNAV, and you can see I had that aligned from the Mission Bay VOR. What I'm going to do now, though, is I'm going to tilt it. I'm going to turn that all the way over so we get a perpendicular line, which is, if I zoom out, you'll see it right there. So that kind of tells me where that VOR is. It's a visual cue for me. I like to do that. We are on the RNAV, so I don't need to set this for the actual final approach course. We know what that is, and the FMC is going to fly that. Let's take a look at our fuel here. Center tank, let's go ahead and turn those off right at this time. We're almost up down to 1,000. We can turn that off. I think once it gets below like 1,200, you'll get a warning because that center fuel tanks are starting to get low. Alright, we'll zoom in here a little bit. Alright, let's do our announcement here right before this turn. We'll do our landing announcement. Here we go. Descent. Alright, I'm going to click that and then we'll look out the window.
Folks from the flight deck, we've started our descent. Should have you on the ground in about 15 minutes. Want to thank you so much for your company and business, and hope to see you again with us sometime very soon.
Beans. Alright, so here we are turning on final. About just under 15 miles out. We're going to go ahead and go 5 flaps at this time. Pop out there, you can see them coming down. Turn this in a little bit. Start getting slowed up here. We'll throw some flaps, or not flaps, spoilers out. And adjust that view just a tad. Alright, landing lights are going to go on. And we're going to set our auto braking to 1. You can see we've got our sort of RNAV approach here, just waiting for that diamond to start coming in here, and then we'll go over to approach. And at this time we are cleared
2,500
200 feet. I'm going to set that there, and there we go. Our diamond is alive. That's our glide path. I'm going to go ahead and hit approach, put the spoilers down. We can turn our terrain radar off now. Kind of cleared out of the hills there. Do a little bit more spoilers here. Get it cleaned up. Alright, so landing lights are on, auto braking set. We just got to do the gear here, which we will do shortly, as soon as we capture our descent.
2,500.
And those are little hills there that we're kind of going over, so we're popping. The altitude alert is reading our 2,500 foot a couple times. There we go. Single channels captured. We are on approach. So at this time I'm going to go ahead and we're a little bit fast, so I'm going to bring my gear down now. And we will go to 15 flaps. See your gear coming down there. Go 25 flaps. 30 flaps. And 40 flaps. Alright, landing lights on. We're going to go ahead and arm our speed brake. Or arm our spoilers. And we will get ready. As soon as we pop out of the clouds here, I'll probably just take over and do a manual landing. We're about 4.6 miles out. Holding an airspeed of 149. We're actually go 148. And actually I'm going to go to 145. I should have checked my speeds here, but we'll just eyeball it here. Might come in a little bit fast here. Nice thick marine layer here. Alright, gear is down, 3 green, lights are on, flaps.
1,000 feet stabilized, Mr. Proach, altitude set.
We are at 1,000 feet. There we are, popping out of the clouds. I'm going to let the autopilot fly just for a little bit more here. See the nice view of downtown San Diego in the marine layer. It's not quite that foggy. There we go. I think it heard me. Alright, I'm going to disengage autopilot. And we're going to turn off our auto throttle. So airplane is fine.
Approaching 27.
I realize that the RNAV approach here tends to kind of bring us a little bit lower than real in X-plane. Okay, so once again, green gear, 3 green flaps, good, lights on, auto braking set, spoilers are armed.
200.
A little bit of a crosswind there, but 13 knots, not too bad. Come over the Laurel Street garage here. See if we can make this a greaser, even though we got that crosswind.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Power back, nose up. Hit the flare. Go.
5,000.
Thrust reversers engaged. Lower the nose, counteract that tendency to want a weather vane. And manual braking.
knots.
Thrust reversers off. Take it all the way to the end of the runway, missed that high-speed turn off there. Alright, spoilers down, flaps up. Go strobe off here as soon as we turn off. Alright, landing lights off, taxi on, strobes off. Taxi over to the southwest ramp, which is back there. Fun turning here. Alright, we'll do one replay and then call it a flight. I think I like this Zibo 329 Charlie version. Looking nice. I like the iPad there with all of the things. Oh, we forgot our pre-landing. Let's see what that sounds like.
Flight attendants, prepare for landing, please.
We should have hit that one like just before the landing there, I guess. Too busy concentrating on the cloud cover there. It's waiting for us to pop out of the clouds. Alright, so here's our southwest ramp. Let's see if we got a... I think we got a gate open right there. Perfect. Make ourselves slow down a little bit. We'll park it over there and do a replay of that landing. It was not bad. What was it, like 154 feet or something? With like a 12 knot crosswind. Alright, we'll take our taxi lights off so we don't blind the guy over here directing us. And you know what? I never started my APU, so we'll get that going. We'll stutter there on my sim. I'm actually waiting for a new CPU to come in today, like any minute now. Might help with a little bit of some of the graphics here. Graphic little anomalies I get occasionally. Alright, there we go. Stop. Let's go in here. Let's put the parking brake on full. And let's see, well, we got ground power. Let's go over to ground power. What the heck? And then we will shut down 1 and 2. Yeah. Sorry about that. My mouse is acting up a little bit. There we go. Shut down. Seatbelt signs are off. I think that starts some announcement. We'll put our beacon off. And nav lights off. Put this back to auto. We got our gate coming in. I think the people are waiting. Seatbelt signs off, right? Yeah, there's a couple of sequence of things you gotta like do in order for them to start doing their little, you know, getting off the plane sort of thing. Anyway, let's take a look outside. There we are. Not bad, not bad. All right, let's do a replay and then we'll call it a day. And let me see, replay. There we go. Let's go back up to right about there. Pop in the plane. That looks good. We'll see ourselves popping out here. We'll kind of adjust this slightly. There we go. All right, we'll hit play. Throw some tunes on here too. So guys, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the show here. This flight test with the Zibo 329 Charlie. Get through the clouds here. There we go. Alright, we'll leave it right there. And if you haven't already subscribed, please do so. I got a lot of X-Plane 11 content here I try to do. Not just airliners, but some general aviation also. Hit the like button for the video. Helps make the visibility of the channel a little bit higher there. Get some more viewers in. Yeah, if you ever fly into San Diego in real life, sit on the left side of the airplane because you get this 99% of the time they're landing 2-7 and you will get a real nice view of downtown here. Also, I hit the bell button there if you want to get notified when I do post a new video, usually like one a week or something, give or take. Nice touchdown into San Diego. So again, guys, thank you very much. Till next time, take care. Bye.